I actually listened to some of the presentations that you held before, and I have realized I'm not as specialized as you. And I must say, we like to call each other at sustainability department IKEA as executors, because we, on everyday basis, actually really make super groundwork to make things happen. And because you probably know what we do simple products. So, like a dish or a chair. 50 years ago, the chair looked the same like it looks today, or a plate or a glass. About the glass, maybe I'm not that sure about, but it's about the ingredients. So basically we do very simple products, and we really try to be super simple and clear on what we do. And my intention today is to tell you how we do it and how we understand becoming climate positive. Something about me. So I'm Kasia. My name is completely not pronounceable to anybody who's in Germany. So I'm used to the fact that after working in Germany for 2 years, still nobody can pronounce that. I have been working as head of sustainability for IKEA in Poland for almost 10 years. And the last 2 years, I moved here. This is actually one of my teams. This is where I started. And this is actually a very symbolic picture for me. I don't know if you can actually see it, but it's on a wind farm with my team that time, where I actually realized that as sustainability guys in a very big company, we've got a very special role. And the role is to somehow navigate, to give the content and to make the goals, but we never do real job. It's always the rest of the organization who is making the job. But when there is something new, and for example, for me, it was super new to buy a wind farm 10 years ago, we had to learn, and touch it and actually look what it is, and actually why does it have an impact on sustainability? And then when we learned and we started to buy more and more and more wind farms, then we give it to the business, because it's the everyday business. So we don't actually innovate here in sustainability anymore. And with many projects like this, it was always like this. So I used to be like an expert in waste management for many years. I was really going into the containers super detailing in the detailed job, and really learning about balers and all the equipments for waste management. But when it was established, we gave it to the business. That's the same with really all aspects that we do. And also I wanted to tell you how we understand climate positivity. But before I do that, I think you deserve to understand that, of course, it's part of the bigger picture. And IKEA has a strategy. I think the colleague before was telling very much about having a good strategy and very good roadmap. This is something that we worked on 10 years ago. We published in 2012. So it was the first global strategy that has an impact on every IKEA unit in the world. And basically, we already had 3 updates and probably more to come. But basically, we work on those 3 areas. And that's because we, as a company, a consumer brand, we have acknowledged that we actually have to tackle 3 challenges that are happening in the world that has a big impact on our business. One of them is unsustainable consumption and everything that is around that. And that's why we very much work with our answer for that, and that is about healthy and sustainable living. So we want to be a company, a brand who is enabling people, empowering people to have a sustainable life at home. We also have seen that the climate change is a super big topic, having impact on our business and on our consumers. That's why we very much work with these aspects connected with circular and climate positive. That is super, sometimes operational. It's very much about investments. It's about our own assets. And then inequality. Inequality is something in the sustainability world that we can see has a super big impact on how people live and how our consumers can afford us or not. If they are consumers or not, and the way how they live. That's why we also very much work with social topics that probably today I'm not gonna really talk about. So we've got a vision, we've got big ambitions, we've got 1 billion of people who we want to address. And as I'm working for Ikea in Germany, Ikea in Germany is the biggest retailer in the world for Ikea. We've got 20,000 co-workers, 5 billion euro turnover, and something like 500 millions of people visiting us online plus in our stores. That's why we feel, it's a big pressure. And that's why whatever we do, we believe that it has an impact and a massive scale. So that's why we always work with things that we need to be sure about, especially in this country. And these are some examples. So what we do in these various aspects that have some impact on the climate, our own climate strategy. But as I said, it's very much connected with our offer for sustainable living. So you can see we very much work with our products and actually what we really offer commercially to our customers. We work very much with wood that we only supply from FSC certified supplies. That we also work with only certified sustainable cotton, and that we very much look into the materials so that they would be only renewable or only coming from recycled sources. Today we are around 65% of all our products are like this. We want them to be 100% like this, but we are still on a journey with some of the categories of materials that do not fulfill this criteria, mostly being from recycled sources. But this is one category, how we judge our products. And you will see later on why I show it and what kind of connection it has with the whole climate impact. On the second picture, there is a symbol. We also have another category of KPIs, because actually whatever we do, we always have to have a KPI. So we don't work really with intentions. If we implement something, if we say something, of course, we've got 54 stores who really need to understand how they are measured. So we also measure additional aspects of products. If, for example, the products help people live sustainably at home, for example, save energy, like LED bulbs, or they are induction hub to cook, or they help to sort or minimize waste or save water. And this is also one of the examples of the really steps that we do, for example, that we, in 2015, for example, have changed the whole range into LED, and then the whole competitors actually follow that, and that changed the markets very significantly. We also do the same with some categories, like, for example, induction hubs. We also have a strong commitment, and that comes from a belief that all the products considered as sustainable or more sustainable or ecological cannot be more expensive. That's why we never put an additional price tag to the consumer at the end, because this is a kind of belief and a promise to the consumer. So that's why we need to work on that a lot. And sometimes if the products are more expensive, we actually need to lower the price to make it happen. This is, for example, what we now do with plant-based products in our restaurants. We have taken a decision exactly, for example, in Germany, that we will always offer the plant-based products cheaper than those that consist meat. And that's because we want to actually promote those kind of products, and that is in our retail sector, it's usually possible only because of the price. And we also experiment or actually introduce new services that are a little bit out of the box. Here you can see some of our services connected, for example, with a PV installation for consumers' homes. It's still a kind of a niche business because, of course, it's a bigger installation. Maybe not everybody associates us with this kind of service, but we already have a lot of clients, and we are super proud of that. And people are very happy to get PV installation together with the batteries, and actually in Germany, very commonly buying it with EV charger for home. So that would be, let's say, the aspect of the commerciality that we work on. We try to really make it mainstream. But also our super big ambition and the challenge is to really go into circular business. That also has, of course, a connection with climate footprint. And I think this is the topic for the next year, 10 years as the most important one for us as a kind of transitional one. And today we already, of course, do a lot. We've got a lot of products that are made from recycled materials. And I think I even had some chats with some of you about producing kitchens that are our core business only from 100% post-consumer waste. It's a very good product because we work many years to actually be able to offer such a complicated, in IKEA word, complex product that would be durable for 20, 30 years, have a super long guarantee, but would be 100% made of recycled wood and also have some ingredients from recycled plastic. So this is one of the directions that we do. We also interact with consumers on making some tests about post-consumer take back of waste. And we look at this market. We try to see and find some patterns how to make it the new normal one. I don't believe we are still there. There are a lot of tests, but usually we can see that the logistics and making people bringing the stuff to our stores is always the kind of challenge. But I think there is a lot of future in that. So we, of course, work on this. We also have our own principles for circularity for our products. And all of our products have scorecards according to that. This is also a work that was done for many years in the last period. And now everything that we design from the very beginning, and of course we are quite lucky because we control the whole supply chain and we only sell on our products, so we can really put all these criteria on those. Actually, Germany is the first country where we have started something that we are super proud of globally, and now it's implemented in every IKEA unit, something that is called buyback service. And this is coming also from the fact that most of our consumers, if we ask them, what do you want from IKEA on the sustainability level, on the first place, they always say, reduce the packaging. This is what makes people, and you can feel that this is a tension that consumers have. They don't want the packaging. Of course, we try to limit, but we haven't came to a solution how to get out of the packaging at all. So the only fact is that today it's 100% renewable or recycled, but still packaging is there. But then we can see that the number 2 or number 3 is very much about repairing the products and giving the second life to the products. So people really feel they don't want to be part of this throwaway society. They feel that they want to, do something around that. And so we are, preparing ourselves how to really do it. So, and there's a lot of going on. So as I said, we've got the service called buyback. In German, it's called Zweite Chance. It's actually ongoing service, so you can bring back your products with no Paragon, Rechnung or whatever, and you can give it back if it's still in a good shape, and we will buy it back from you. We usually activate this in November, so you will probably hear about this more. And actually, this is the thing that we can see. Most of our consumers are very willing to take part in this activity, but they need to be really, let's say, provoked to that. They need to be called. So we need to really invest a lot in marketing so that people will really bring back the furniture. And then, for example, the numbers increase 7-8 times more. But it's a super niche, I would say, number compared to of course, the millions of products that we sell every day. But we analyze, we really work somehow, we try to find different solutions how to make it more commercial, more ongoing, a kind of a new normal. We also have places in our stores. It's usually behind the cashier or in front of cashiers. The German Fundgrube, this is like so-called places where you can find rescue products. In Germany, we usually save life of 18 million products yearly that are somehow damaged, or the packaging is damaged, or let's say somebody has given it back because they changed their minds. So our main tool how to save this product is to repack it if it's super new quality, and that is how mostly we do. We've got special repackaging machines behind our cashiers, so there are guys who really do it on everyday basics, but sometimes you cannot really, you need to repair the products, and this is around 4 or 5 million of products yearly in Germany, and then we sell them as second hand, as of course it's lower price. But we want to increase it because we see, especially in our sector, there is a great potential to start thinking about second-hand of furniture. It's not common at all, but let's see how that will develop. And of course, we've got a lot of different innovation projects, like for example, this one, like we sell sofas made from old post-consumer jeans with some of our brands. But as I said, becoming climate positive is a headline for IKEA, and it's a kind of ambition that we've set. Exactly, if I remember, it was in like 2011. So, you know, it was quite of ambition goal because we knew that our emissions globally are significant as a brand. And we also invested in professionals who calculated that for us. And I might say it was a long journey. I think it took us even 4 years to actually really calculate the emissions from the whole value chain of IKEA. And of course, based on that, we make decisions now. And so far, we have made a lot of decisions. As you can see, the biggest, okay, you don't see because it's not visible, but imagine there are the numbers. So actually, it's the number of today's, even that it's almost 50% of all our climate impact comes from the materials of the products. That's why there's a lot of focus put on that, and also how people use the product at home, and it's mostly of the energy consuming appliances. So there is, of course, a global work around how to make it happen and how to lower the impact from that and from the materials. But we've got our little thing to do in countries like Germany. That is, and I should not maybe use this word, but we are like a selling machine. So whatever we are the selling country here, so and consumption country, and very much our emissions are also about those two aspects. So it's about customer travels and home deliveries, but also the operations of a lot of assets, buildings that we have. And we also heard a lot about offsetting, compensation. This is something that we basically today do not do. Our goal is really to reduce our own emissions. And actually, I must say, since it's now the third year where we could see it was possible. It was only in 2019, so 2 years ago, where we managed to actually have a higher reduction in the whole supply chain than sales growing, because we're a company that want to, of course, grow. The last 2 years, not. So we still grew higher than the emissions lowered. But we believe we are on the track, and we've got a kind of a roadmap. So if you look at this, let's say this is where we are. And we, coming from our specialists who calculated that, we know that if we would do nothing but still grow, and we are a growing company, yearly we grow and grow and grow, we would probably have our emissions like that. So to really stop it, we need to drastically reduce them, and then do actually something more. And these are some projects that we have already started. It's mostly storing carbon in land. So we basically buy a lot of land, forests. And then also going beyond IKEA, going beyond our supply chain. So, like investing in different societal changes. And that has a big impact for us, because we, for years, were super quiet and very internal, but we have seen that then we don't make our goals. So we need to invite a lot of social partners to actually work together on bigger changes. And to be super practical, for me, this is quite well known, because this is where I work every day. So how to make things really happen and reduce the emissions in different aspects. And there are KPIs. And this is also referring to what I said to you before. It's super important for us that it's not a silos work at sustainability departments. We really give all these goals to our commercial managers, to the managers of the units, and they are responsible for actually making the emissions goals. Then also maybe something coming down practical sides of the buildings, and especially the work in Germany, we can see so that the emissions mostly coming from the buildings, of course, from the energy. And then if you look at the energy emissions, it's very much about the heating. And this is also kind of a struggle, how to make things happen, because I would say some aspects are super easy, and that's because of climate roadmap is based on science-based targets. We basically know what to do. The only thing is that we need money for investments. We need resources, human resources, to make things happen. We are, when it comes to Germany, maybe some practical aspects. Of course, we work with energy efficiency as a KPI, but not a KPI for me. It's a really KPI for people who manage the buildings, of people who are in commercial, of people who make decorations. They need to know that energy saving is one of their tasks, not only sales. And I think this is quite successful because of that. We work only with renewable electricity, of course. We have our own PV installations on the roofs, not yet on parkings, but I can see this trend is probably coming from other countries, that we can see in other countries. Most of the parkings are now covered with PV installation, but we are in Germany not that far away. We are exchanging all our heating system, and this is probably the most crucial one to really change things, but we do it at the lifetime because, of course, we also consider it financially how to make things happen. We also actually, as a transition period, before all this happened, we have invested in contracts that secure biogas for us. That also helps us reduce emissions. And super practically, today, the real usage of renewable energy for Ikea Germany is like this, so around 70%. We also benefit, of course, from being a global company. So in different countries, including here, we own our own wind parks. Most of them are onshore, but we also have one super big on the sea, something like 600 kilometers from the border, Germany direction, Denmark. And we now have purchased also solar parks so that they can also produce on behalf of the whole brand energy for us. And of course, as I said before, it is super important for us to have own sources of energy because we have our own supply chain. So then we are more independent. We also, on, of course, not comparable scale, at the beginning testing, now really being super convinced on artificial intelligence systems, especially connected with food waste. So if you are, let's say, working with restaurants, I think it is a super good tool. I don't know if you know it, but this is a super practical thing, and it's very much connected with people mindset and how you really give your coworkers, employees, real tools. This is a super small thing. If people in the restaurant throw away food, they cannot just throw it away to the bin, even it's like a bio bin or whatever. They cannot do it like this. They need to put it into the bin where there is a monitor. They need to log in. They need to write away, qualified what they throw away. If it's like 2 bins of, I don't know what, or it's like 10 grams of a soup because it was not eaten or something like that. And they need to put a reason why it was thrown away. And we can see, only because of these super small steps, we've actually almost reduced all people-intentioned waste. Because people don't then start to consider, of course, what they do. Of course, something is not possible because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to throw it away. And then I said before, also going beyond our own supply chain, we can see that we can have some influence. That's why we partner with different partners or commercial also. And we offer different services like PV installation as an example. And I think that would be basically this, what I wanted to share with you. It's of course kind of snip. Now actually I'm thinking about what you said about the water. I think in the whole roadmap for us, as you could see, water was maybe like 3% of all our climate footprint, and that's why probably for years we have underestimated this. Only this year we have realized, okay, you know, everybody has a role to play in different aspects of sustainability. So what would be our role in this all water management, because today we already use, let's say, rainwater on our buildings. We harvest it from our own assets to use it in the toilets for customers. And sometimes there are a lot of funny situations, like we get a lot of claims, you know, why this water is yellow. So that makes people, you know, splashing it even 10 times more because they don't know it's a rainwater. So we really have to invest into special communication, telling them, you know, it's a rainwater. If it's yellow, it's okay. So you don't have to, you know, use it more. But I must say that, for example, we have realized that our own task is really to talk to those millions of customers, so that because they are not aware. So we have a study showing that our customers, so basically a lot of people in Germany, they are simply not aware of the fact that water management is important. So, and probably this will be something that we will have to take care in the next years. That would be this. Thank you for that.
Lovely, thank you.